Aloha kākou, DJ Kano, and we're at Razorback from Dark Hours in Division 2. This is the final boss of the Dark Hours raid, and I wanted to go over a few positions. I wanted to talk about the Overwatch position, talk about the plate position, and of course the drone killer position. I'll do my best to go over the mechanics as well so that you understand the different pieces of the different things that are going on in Razorback in coordination with how they work with the positions. Okay, so I'll start off with the Overwatch because Overwatch is pretty standard. You are just trying to kill ads and maintain your health. Try not to die. Okay, so as soon as you start off in the area, you'll have a couple of ads to kill. Once you kill those ads, then you can get your team into position. So Overwatch is going to stand basically right around this section. You will be monitoring the ads that spawn on the outer perimeter of the Razorback, and this is where Overwatch 1 is. You can see number 1 right here. So Overwatch 1 will watch this entire area and look at their spawns to protect the people that are in the center working on plates. The plate positions will be in the middle there. Okay, we're only focusing on the Overwatch right now. So Overwatch, again, like I said, all they're doing is killing ads and making sure that the ads stay away from the people that are trying to damage the Razorback. The other thing that they will be doing, aside from killing ads, Boomer, there is a Boomer-like character, a large Chunga-looking character, and he's an ad, but he's not really going to hurt you or kill you. What he does is he comes and jumps out, runs straight to this computer. He tries to activate any one of these rocket things in the corner, and he will try to wipe everybody on this map by activating the rockets. So as the Overwatch, your job is to kill him and make sure he does not set that off, because that is a wipe mechanic. It'll clear the entire map, and you have to start from the beginning. I'm looking right now for a decent, there we go, there's my IR, because I'm going to show you how this is done. Okay, so typically, you just get into position, and you're going to stay right where we are. Let me just, get in the cover here. So I'll be like, okay, everyone's ready. I'm in my position, good to go, because I'm waiting for my spawns, and I'm keeping people off my back, okay? I recommend wearing a turret. Let's turn the turret on. Okay, so I'm wearing a standard DPS build. You probably know what this already looks like, so I'm not going to go over this in detail. But Scorpio is great for ad control. I do recommend getting a Scorpio if you don't have one. If you don't have one, ad control may be a little bit more challenging than normal. A good AR is good for killing that Boomer by shooting him right where he does not have any armor. I'll go over that in a little bit. Pistol doesn't really matter. Whatever is your favorite pistol, or just something that's pretty strong as a backup in case you might run out of ammo for a little while. That's very unlikely to happen. But specialization, I usually run either a grenade launcher, or I'll run the crossbow, because those are positions that I can float out and interchange to wearing out a plate position, and I'll go over that again at a later time. But those are the specializations required for this particular boss, and in case someone needed to go switch positions with me, they wanted to do Overwatch, they're having a hard time on a plate, or vice versa, I just use these two particular specializations for flexibility. I recommend the Reviver Hive at all times when you're in a raid, unless you really feel like you don't need one, but the Reviver Hive does help the entire team, that if you go down by accident, you will not have a problem getting back up. And then I have the Assault Turret. Assault Turret is what I prefer for ad control. There are so many different things, as you're aware, all these different skills that you can use for ad control. Whatever works for you, works for you. That's what I will tell you. You can use a Decoy, for example. A lot of people like the Decoy. You're wearing an all red build. My thing is, if you do run a Decoy, it's effective. However, when it goes on cooldown, you have a long wait because you're wearing all red. You don't have any skill tiers to help you with that cooldown being what it is. You can use traps. Again, traps are great. They're very effective, but only for the amount of time you have them. The cooldown is awful with the traps as well. Other thing people use are the Firefly blinders. So the blinder Firefly is actually very good. Effective as well. I don't recall what the cooldown is. This one's probably not nearly as bad as the trap or the Decoy, but it is also not the best. It doesn't last very long either, especially if you miss. So you got to be very good with it if you're going to use that one. Chem launcher. Some people like using the chem launcher with the riot foam. That one sticks them for a decent amount of time, enough time for you to kill them, but you will have to wait for the very long cooldown. And as we all know, the chem launcher takes forever to cooldown. It's probably one of the worst cooldowns without having any skill tiers. So that is the reason why I recommend the turret. Some people like to use the turret with a tamper-proof chest piece. So if you have tamper-proof, I don't think I even have one here. Let me see if I even have one to show off. I don't like to use tamper-proof myself because I don't like taking the nerf on my damage. I like having my high damage with my perfect glass cannon. So I don't bother with the what did I just say? With the tamper-proof. Tamper-proof will basically allow you to have any skill that sits on the ground, have electricity come out of it. So you could throw this at one of your ad spawns. It'll shock them when they come out, and it gives you some time to kill them. To be honest, though, it probably doesn't take away that much damage from you. I think people that use tamper-proof still have very effective DPS when they use tamper-proof. Just for myself, I don't like taking any kind of nerf for my weapon damage. I like to keep it as high as possible. So I myself just don't prefer tamper-proof. I will use the assault turret without tamper-proof, and I'll show you how I use it. I basically use it as a decoy. Okay, so I'll throw it right here. This is one of my spawn positions, my ad spawns for the Overwatch 1 position. So that's one spawn, and when I put it there, they drop down, and because it's close enough to the spawn, it's the first thing that they see and interact with. So not every time, it's not every single time, but what they can do is actually walk backwards, and they will shoot at your turret for a little bit. So it's a distractor for a few moments, enough time for you to get the sneak on them and blam them with the Scorpio. Okay, that is what I recommend for that particular spawn. If it's not going to be there, then it's going to be down here. This is where the other ad spawn is. The ads will come out from the top of this trailer and drop down to the floor, and they will come after you. Okay? So before I talk about that ad spawn, this one, the other thing that's cool about putting the turret up there is because this spawn happens to be between 1 and 2, it's kind of in a weird spot. It's not completely in my corner. It's between this area and the other corner that the laser beam that is on top of the turret will swing back and forth, so it kind of helps you indicate if there's heads on number 2 that you can help out with. It points it out for you. It's a pretty good ad marker, so that's why I like to put it up there. Okay, now that my turret is back, other place I do recommend putting it is right here. You notice I put it at the lip. I put it right at the lip of where they will drop down because that will cause them to walk backwards like I mentioned. That is a good spot for it, right over there. Okay. The other thing I would probably caution against, a lot of people are going to be doing stuff like this. So if I'm standing here and I'm going to be shooting ads and stuff, they're going to put their turret next to you like this. That would normally work in the open world because the turret is strong enough, even on a red build, to do a little bit of damage. In here, it's not that strong. You're not going to be able to do too much damage to any of your ads. So using the turret as an additional damage skill is not really realistic. It's not going to do much to them. Your weapons are the best thing you can use to do damage to the ads and put them down. So that's why, like I said, I use the turret as more of a distractor. And then you'll probably ask, well, then why don't you just use the decoy? Because the cooldown for the turret might be roughly around the same as the decoy, and the turret will last much longer than the decoy. So you're not really trading off too much on the cooldown, but the fact that it will stay up a lot longer and you don't have to worry about dropping it nearly as much as the decoy. If you try the decoy, you'll notice you'll keep having to drop it. The turret will just stay there. All right. It'll pop every, maybe a couple minutes, a few minutes. You last a few minutes versus lasting a few seconds with the decoy. Okay, so that is position 1. That is pretty much it. You got the trailer up here, and then you got that one right there. Okay, I showed you where to place your turret and the way that I recommend doing it. Not everybody does it that way. This is just the way that works for me, and a way that tends to work for a lot of people after I show it to them. See what works best for you, try out those other skills, and see what you can do to basically your goal, whatever you do, is to keep your ads down and yourself from dying. So whatever you do, it doesn't matter as long as your ads are dead and you are not. So if you keep dying or your ads are too hard to kill your ads, adjustments need to be made, and you should figure that out based on your gameplay, your style, and what works for you. Okay, we'll move on to number 2. Number 2 is going to be a very similar setup. You got the rocket launcher here that Boomer comes to. Boomer, I'll go back real quick before I talk about that. Boomer, where does Boomer come out of? I kind of mentioned it, but I'll make sure I'm very clear. Boomer will come out from number 1 on the top of the trailer. So when a boomer does come out, I'll talk about the sequence at another time, but when a boomer does come out, he'll jump out from the trailer, land on the ground, and run straight for the panel. He will not bother you, he will not mess with you. So when he's standing at the panel, just go ahead and shoot him. It's going to sound weird, but right in the butt, because that's where there's no armor. So you can actually kill him within one magazine if you have a decent AR. Like I do here, I got 51 bullets in this magazine. You can just destroy him by shooting him in the butt, and he's down. Okay, so that's where the boomer comes out, and that's where the ad spawns are for one. Now that one is actually now completely talked about, we'll go to number 2. Okay, so number 2, similar to number 1, boomer will come out from the top trailer as well. So it looks almost exactly the same. He'll drop down and come right over here to the button. You have more space here to shoot him. Shoot him in the same place every time, no matter what spawn you're at. And for the ad spawns, there will also be an ad spawn over the trailer. I recommend throwing your turret right there at the base again. So when they drop down, they'll walk backwards and you can kill them. Okay. I say one more time, they don't always walk backwards, but most of the time they do, and it gives you enough time to go ahead and shoot them and blam them. Okay. The other ad spawn here is going to be right on top of these crates. Okay, so you're sensing a theme already. There are only 2 ad spawns per Overwatch position. And before anyone who knows about the ad spawns goes ballistic on me, let me finish talking about all 4 Overwatch positions before you're like, no, that's not true. There's this and there's that. Hold on, let me go over it first. Okay, so those are the 2 for 1. I just showed you the 2 for number 2. Let's go over to number 3. Number 3 is right here. As you can see, I got number 3. Okay. Number 3, here's the computer for the rockets. Boomer does not come out of that door. He comes out of this door. So this one's a little bit different, a little bit trickier, because you have to watch and be careful. Only Boomer comes out of this door. Ads will not come out of this door. Ads will, however, come out of this door. Okay, so I recommend one good place to put your turret is right in that little place right there, as far as you can in the spawn where they'll drop. And then that way when they drop down again, high chance of them turning backwards and shooting. So if their back is toward the turret, you can shoot them in the back and be done with them quicker than normal. They will not have too many opportunities to shoot you. Okay, so I recommend that. Other people might think to put the turret up there. And honestly, it might actually be okay. I've never tried it. I'll try it another time and see what the results are. You could try it up there, but I usually put it down on the bottom. That's the most effective for me. So that's the 1 ad spawn. You did hear me say that there are 2 ad spawns per Overwatch position. The other one, I told you, is not going to be this door. It's going to be the one all the way over here. This is a very annoying ad spawn position, and they did it on purpose. So they want you to work together, and they want you to run back and forth and have a good old time. So you need to pay attention if you're on 3 to that door up there and that door back over here. Okay, so if you want to put a turret at the lip over here, you can do that as well, right at the lip. Just keep in mind you will have to watch the other door and run back and forth. Okay, so these 2 are for number 3. And if I move on, so I talked about Boomer. Yep, I talked about Boomer. Going this way, we do have number 4. So this is the last Overwatch position. This is the first place that ads will come out of, right through that door. And then their second position, this is the part I said, well, I don't think there's only 2 per Overwatch position. I think people think that this is part of number 1 sometimes. So I've noticed when I run with certain groups, I have run with them in the past, not anyone recent, but number 4 will not pay attention to this window because it's too far from them. So they let number 1 take care of it. But 1, as I showed you, already has 2 positions. Sure, it's pretty close to 1, but 1 has 2 positions. What else is door number 4 doing? Overwatch 1 doing besides that door? They should be watching this door and that window. So technically, this position is kind of shared by 1 and 4. So both should be watching it if you really want to break it down and separate the teamwork. And then you have over here, where I showed you, now that you can see how close it is, this door is actually in the middle of 3 and 4. Kind of like the other spawn on that side. The only spawn that tends to be a little bit closer to number 2 is that one over there. It's not exactly in the middle. Well, kind of, sort of. Right? So the spawns are kind of in the middle. So you need to call out and communicate to see who is doing what. But otherwise, if you're talking about strict zone, you want to be 4 watching that one and that one. and then all the other ones that I mentioned to you before. Okay, but if ads get away, so if I'm number 3, and I notice my ads are all the way down away from me, coming out from that far door, I can just call out. Well, one, I should run over and get them. That's first and foremost. But if they run very far away and they're already like all the way down there by number 4, just call it out. I got an ad going from 3 to 4. Okay, anybody that might be on a plate or even number 4, they'll be able to shoot them or watch them, at least know that someone's behind them. So call outs are very important and very helpful. So use communication for things like that when you guys are in a raid. Okay. So that's basically what the Overwatch positions look like. One more thing. I forgot the boomer for number 4. Okay, so I went over the boomers for all the other 3. The last one, boomer will come out of this door as well. Okay, so this is an ad door. It's also a boomer door. Okay, boomer will come walking straight over here and go to the control panel. Stand here, shoot him in the booty. Okay, all right. Okay, now I've officially gone over all the Overwatch positions. I recommend doing it the way that I showed you. Throw the turret. That's the best effective way for my gameplay. If it's your gameplay too, go for it. Give it a shot. I will do one more thing and show you the Scorpio. I wish I had an ad to shoot and show you. I'm going to have to simulate it. So this pillar will be my ad. Okay, so let's take a look at the Scorpio real quick. This is all going to be related to your ad control. Okay, this is very important for any section of either raid, Dark Hours or Iron Horse. This will be very important and helpful for this particular section doing Overwatch. So you see how it says 1 shot, poison, right in the middle of septic shock. Number 3, it'll say disorient. So that means 3 shots with the Scorpio will disorient them. That drops them to their knees because they're disoriented, and they'll get back up a little bit shortly after that. 6 will give you a shock, and 7 will have the target take 20% more damage from all sources. Okay, so the important things to note are number 3 and number 6. 3 shots disorient, 6 shots will shock. Okay, so if you do 1, 2, 3, okay, they're disoriented, they're on their knees. Okay, you can go ahead and use 3 more to shoot the other ad if they're separated. 1, 2, 3. But you notice I only have 2 in my clip, right? So you already went like this, right? So you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and both hopefully are disoriented and you have a little bit of time. Reload when they're disoriented. Very, very important. It seems like common sense to maybe some people that play, but other people that maybe don't play shooters too often, it may not be natural to them. So I recommend doing that. It'll be very helpful. If you can catch both ads together, so they both come out of the door, boom, 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 you'll see them get disoriented. Maybe even go for the 6 and get them shocked. Okay? Reload, and once they get back up, don't let them have a chance to shoot you. Go ahead and blam them. And you notice I'm right here. I'm right here in front of them. You may have the instinct to be like, nah, I should be in cover. Go for it. Be in cover. Find a good spot where you're close and go ahead and shoot. The Scorpio is going to shine right up close and personal like any other shotgun. So if you're watching 4 and you're in position like this and you're shooting them from here, don't get me wrong, it'll still be pretty effective, but you probably won't be able to put anybody down or kill them with only the 8 in your magazine. So make sure that you try to get close and take care of your ads. Another thing that will help you a lot while doing this technique with the Scorpio is know that for every spawn wave, you will only get 2 ads per location, per Overwatch location. Okay, so if I see 2 guys coming out of this door, that means I'm probably not going to have a guy coming out of that door. I would still turn around and double check, but there's always only 2 per spawn location. 2 per Overwatch location, not spawn location. There might be 1 ad here. If you only see 1 ad come out of there, your other ad is probably coming out of the window. So be aware of that. I can't tell you for sure. I don't think that there are Warhounds, the electronic dogs. I don't think they're in addition to the 2 ads. I've noticed a few times that you will get 1 of the dogs and you'll probably get 1 ad, 1 of the regular dudes. So you won't be getting a dog and 2 ads. If that does happen, I'm sorry. That is very uncommon. And you know, I think it does happen once in a while. I can't recall. Usually too busy killing ads, and I don't know which spawn they come out of. But I'm almost very certain that 95% of the time, you should only get 2 ads. So it'll be 2 dudes normally, or it'll be 1 dude and 1 dog. Okay? You won't get 2 dogs coming out of the same spawn. That's never happened. I've never seen that. Okay? So keep that in mind. So when you find 2 ads, shoot the 2 ads. Know that you have a little bit of a break. I recommend paying close attention to your timing of how often the ads spawn. So when you shoot the ads, and if you have to go and help your teammates, you can go help your teammates, shoot, and realize, oh, it's probably been around that time, maybe about 15 to 20 seconds, maybe 30, something around that number is how often they spawn. So you shot around for a little while, that means, oh, I better get back and make sure I pay attention to my spawns again. Okay, so keep checking that often and make sure you don't get your ads leak. If your ads leak, these guys ran out and maybe you're too far away doing something else over there, just call it out. Oh, number 3, I got an ad coming towards you. They came from 4, or whatever you want to say. Okay. That should hopefully cover the basics for Overwatch and ad control. Hopefully this does help you if you've ever tried doing a raid or you're probably planning on getting into one. Please message some comments below if you happen to notice maybe something I missed, or just you want to share what you do that helps you, that's effective for you and your gameplay. That'll be good to know, because I like to share that information with the people that I run with, the people that I try to teach raids to. So let me know if there's anything, and if anyone's interested in joining me and my team for running raids, we'd more than happy to have new people join us to run with and have fun with. That is our overall goal for our group, just to have fun, be respectful, and just enjoy the game. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back with more information on the other positions and how to finish Razorback. Okay, shoot.